Hello 10th standard students. In this video I am going to continue the lesson transportation in plants and circulation in animals. In the last video we learnt about transportation in plants. How does transportation takes place in plants? Transportation in plants takes place through vascular system. Vascular system includes xylem and phloem. There are three means of transportation takes place in plants: diffusion, active transport, osmosis. Then we learned two types of movement of water into the root cells, or upperplast pathway and symplast pathway. Today we are going to know about the transpiration. What is transpiration? Transpiration is the process of water movement through a plant and its evaporation from aerial parts such as leaves, stems and flowers. Water is necessary for plants, but only a small amount of water taken up by the roots is used for growth and metabolism. The remaining 97 to 99% of water is lost by transpiration. The opening and closing of stomata operate as a result of turgidity changes in the guard cells. During the daytime, the guard cells perform photosynthesis, due to which osmotic pressure increases. Thus, the guard cells absorb water from the neighboring cells. As a result, the guard cells become turgid. Turgid means filled with water. The outer thin walls of guard cells are pushed out and the inner thicker walls are pulled inwards, resulting in stomata to open. During the night time or in a condition of water scarcity or dry areas, these guard cells are in a flaccid state and remain closed. Next, what are the factors affecting transpiration in plants? Different factors affecting the rate of transpiration. They are cellular factors and environmental factors. The cellular factors affecting the area of transpiration are the orientation of leaf, the water status of the plant, structural peculiarities of the leaf, total number and distribution of stomata in a leaf. Then environmental factors are light, humidity, temperature, atmospheric pressure, wind speed, etc. Next, let us know about the importance of transpiration. Transpiration creates transpirational pull. This transpirational pull used for transport of water from the roots to other parts of the plant. Then transpiration supplies water for photosynthesis. Then transports minerals from soil to all parts of the plant. Transpiration helps for cooling the surface of the leaves by evaporation. It keeps the cells turgid, hence maintains their shape. Then root pressure. Root pressure is a force or the hydrostatic pressure. It is generated in the roots. It helps in driving the fluids and other ions from the soil in upwards directions into the plant's vascular tissue known as xylem. This process is produced by osmotic pressure in the cells of the root. Root pressure is more common during the spring seasons before the leaves develop, and the rate of the transpiration is rapid. Uptake of mineral nutrients. The mineral uptake is the natural process in which all the essential minerals enter the plant's cellular material, following the same pathway as water. The uptake of mineral nutrients occur at both the roots and the leaves. The process of uptake or transport of mineral nutrients is carried out by the plant cells in two different ways: passive absorption and active absorption. Passive absorption is the absorption of minerals without the direct expenditure of metabolic energy. Active absorption is the absorption of minerals with a direct expenditure of metabolic energy. During the active absorption of minerals, ions from the outer space of the cell move into the inner space, and it generally occurs against the concentration gradient. Hence, it requires metabolic energy. All the minerals cannot be transported passively in the roots. The concentration is low in the soil and minerals are present as charged particles which cannot cross the cell membrane. So minerals are actively transported in the roots using energy stored as ATP, adenosine triphosphate. Minerals are transported by specific proteins present in the membrane of the root hairs. Transport proteins are embedded in the plasma membranes of endodermal cells and control the type and amount of solutes reaching the xylem. Next, translocation of minerals. Translocation is the process in which nutrients and other molecules deliver throughout the plant. Translocation occurs within a series of cells known as the phloem pathway or phloem transport system. With the phloem being the principal food conducting tissue. This phloem is the food conducting tissues in vascular plants. Through the phloem, nutrients are translocated in the phloem as solutes in a solution called phloem sap. Pathway of translocation. The movement of sugars and other molecules generally follows a path that originates in plant organs where sugars are made and terminates in regions where these nutrients are utilized. The organs where the pathway begins are called source regions or sources, and the ends of the pathway are referred to as sink regions or sinks. The predominant organ for the manufacture of sugars is the leaf. The leaf can take in carbon dioxide and light energy to produce sugars through the process of photosynthesis. These sugars can be used locally by the leaf or can be translocated to the rest of the plant. Leaves are generally considered the primary source regions, but it should be noted that only fully expanded mature leaves can act as sources. Newly emerging leaves are unable to fully nourish themselves with their own sugar production, and thus they act as sink regions until they reach full maturity. In plants, the mechanism explained for the translocation of sugars from source to sink is referred to the pressure flow hypothesis. Glucose generated by photosynthesis at the source is converted to sucrose, which is moved to the phloem sieve tube cells through the companion cell by active transport. The remaining transport in the phloem is carried out by the differences in the osmotic pressure. This osmotic pressure facilitates the transport from higher pressure to lower pressure regions of the sink. Again, by active transport, the sucrose is transported from phloem to the cells of the sink, where it will be stored for long time. Ascent of sap in the xylem tissue of plants is the upward movement of water and minerals from the root to the tip of the plant. Xylem is a complex tissue consisting of living and non-living cells. Root pressure. It is the transverse osmotic pressure within the cells of your root system that causes sap to rise through a plant stem to the leaves. Root pressure occurs in the xylem of some vascular plants. Next, capillary action is the name of the process when liquids like water move up through the solid like a hollow tube or spongy material. Plants need capillary action to move the water and nutrients they need up into their stalks or trunks. Adhesion is the process of attaching one thing to other. For plants, adhesion allows for the water to stick to the organic tissues of plants. Cohesion keeps molecules of the same substance together. So cohesion and adhesion draw water up the xylem. Transpiration draws water from the leaf. Negative water potential draws water into the root hairs. So cohesion and adhesion draw water up the phloem. So dear students, I hope you understood about the transpiration. Then root pressure, how does uptake of minerals takes place from the roots to the different parts of the plants. We will meet in the next video. Thank you students.